Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're diving deep into a riveting and, at times, perplexing case that unfolded one summer day in 2014. The New York Police Department found itself receiving an unexpected call from Deborah Holmes, urgently seeking to connect with the detective responsible for the Shell Coughlin case, which centered around the tragic events that transpired on New Year's Eve in 2009. The narrative takes us back to the west side of Manhattan, where Shelly Coughlin, the product of an Orthodox Jewish community, underwent a remarkable journey from a content childhood to a thriving career in asset management. Despite her professional accomplishments and financial stability, Shelly felt an unfulfilled yearning, her dream of building a family and becoming a mother. In February 1998, Shelly attended a Jewish singles event, where fate intervened, introducing her to Rod Coughlin, the 26-year-old professional in the banking sector. Despite a notable age difference, their connection was instantaneous, and a whirlwind romance ensued. They tied the knot, displaying a deep love that transcended any reservations about the swiftness of their decision. Two beautiful children, a boy and a girl, completed their familial portrait. However, tragedy struck on that fateful New Year's Eve in 2009. Shelly Coughlin's lifeless body was discovered in the bathtub by Rod, who promptly made a distress call to the police. Initially, authorities considered it a tragic accident, a freak mishap. Yet, the investigation took an unexpected turn, evolving into a mysterious case that remained unresolved for 5 long years. The scene was set in Manhattan, where officers, responding to Rod's urgent call, found themselves in a seemingly serene Upper West Side residence. The atmosphere quickly shifted as they entered Shelly's bathroom. Children's toys scattered around hinted at the impending holiday, but the wet floor and blood-stained water in the tub indicated recent attempts by Rod to save his ex-wife. Shelly's lifeless form lay wrapped in a blanket, with a conspicuous wound on the back of her head. Forensic experts were promptly summoned to scrutinize the scene, and a torn cabinet door hinge suggested a struggle, perhaps an attempt by Shelly to cling to the door. The investigation, once stagnant, now took on new life, spurred by Deborah Holmes' unexpected call, offering hope for resolution and closure to the tragic mystery that had gripped the community for half a decade. Stay tuned as we unravel the layers of this intriguing case together. Upon careful inspection, investigators determined that there was no evidence of a break-in, and no signs of a struggle were found at the scene. This led them to increasingly lean towards the belief that Shelly's death was an accident. The detective in charge of the case decided to conduct interviews with family members to gather more information. During the questioning, it was revealed that Shelly and Rod's 9-year-old daughter was the first to discover her mother's lifeless body. Traumatized and shocked, the young girl provided a harrowing account to the police. It emerged that the previous night, she and her younger brother had been sleeping in their mother's bed, a fairly common occurrence. Upon waking up and noticing her mother's absence, she went in search of her and stumbled upon the horrifying scene in the bathroom. The frightened child promptly contacted her father, Rod, who had recently separated from Shelly and moved into a new apartment on the same floor of the building. Rod, being nearby, swiftly responded and entered the bathroom, pulling Shelly's body from the water and calling for emergency services. The daughter's account aligned precisely with Rod's description, reinforcing the theory of an accidental death. The police notified Shelly's relatives about the tragedy, deeply affecting everyone involved. An autopsy and forensic examination were scheduled for the day after the discovery of the body. However, surprisingly, the procedures never took place. When the medical examiner contacted the investigators to initiate the examination, he was astonished to learn that, despite its necessity, the procedure would not be conducted. The intervention came from a rabbi associated with the synagogue Shelly frequented. This rabbi contacted an organization responsible for the burial of Orthodox Jews, seeking permission from the police to access the site for religious rites in accordance with the family's faith. Permission was granted, and a team, accompanied by the rabbi, arrived at the scene. They cleaned the bathtub of blood traces and prepared Shelly's body for burial. All evidence and clues collected were destroyed before reaching the police's forensic department. This swift action by the organization was based on the belief that autopsies are considered taboo in Orthodox Jewish tradition, seen as desecrating the deceased's body. Shelly's family, appreciative of the rabbi's assistance, and with no doubts about the accidental nature of the incident, did not object to his involvement. The family also agreed to forego the autopsy, leaving the funeral arrangements to the burial preparation organization. Within 24 hours, Shelly was buried, and a large gathering paid their last respects. However, upon learning from the police that potential clues were destroyed during the bathroom cleaning, doubts about the official version of Shelly's death began to haunt her parents. While a fall in the bathtub was a possibility, the likelihood of her death from such an accident seemed increasingly improbable to them. Unfortunately, with the evidence destroyed, the New York Police Department lost the opportunity for further investigation, prompting the family to hire a private detective to clarify the circumstances and verify if Shelly's death was indeed the result of a tragic fall. The private investigator engaged by the woman's relatives started unraveling this peculiar case by visiting the deceased's family home and speaking with the relatives. From their statements, he learned that Rod and Shelly's relationship was far from perfect, facing serious challenges. Despite celebrating their 10th wedding anniversary in 2008, their marital bliss began to crumble soon after. Rod encountered difficulties in his career, frequently changing jobs, and developed a gambling addiction, investing substantial sums in it. Shelly became dissatisfied with her husband's neglect of the family, and his extensive time spent on computer games. Rod's use of family savings for backgammon tournaments added to her frustrations. She also discovered his infidelity during his frequent travels. Importantly, Shelly was neither passive nor naive regarding her husband's behavior. Upon discovering his infidelities through his emails, she decided to end their marital relationship and obtained permission for a religious divorce externally. The couple still appeared as spouses, but Rod had moved into another apartment in the same building. An official divorce seemed imminent, and their troubled history raised questions about the circumstances surrounding Shelly's tragic demise. The private investigator began delving deeper into these complexities, seeking to uncover the truth behind the mysterious events that had unfolded within the Kovland family. Despite their separation and strained relations, Shelly and Rod attempted to maintain a friendly facade, particularly for the sake of their children. However, conflicts and disagreements often arose due to Rod's behavior. Shelly had recently shared her grievances about her husband with close confidants, describing him as aggressive and hot-tempered. She felt that he was monitoring her activities, entering her apartment when she wasn't home, and checking her emails. Shelly also suspected that Rod had installed a camera in the building's corridor to track her movements. These complexities in their marital life could have provided grounds for a deeper investigation into Shelly's death. Gathering all these details, the private detective began to develop a theory that Rod might have been involved in his wife's demise. To uncover the whole truth, for their investigations were deemed necessary. The detective's initial goal was to determine if a crime had occurred at the scene where the body was found. However, he faced an obstacle when attempting to inspect Shelly's apartment. The door was sealed. Undeterred, he obtained a court order to access the site and, accompanied by New York police officers, arrived at the scene. Rod Kovland surprisingly emerged from his apartment, claiming to have heard noise and come to check. Upon questioning, he effortlessly opened the door with a key, raising suspicions about his role in monitoring the situation. Once inside the apartment, the detective focused intently on finding evidence to support the theory of murder. Shelly's phone was missing, and despite a thorough search, only the phone charger was found. The detective also examined the bathroom, the site of Shelly's demise, paying special attention to the hinge that investigators believed she had torn off during a fall. Doubts arose about the feasibility of such an act, given the sturdy attachment of the metal detail to the cabinet. After extensive discussions with law enforcement, the detective tried to convince them that this was not an accident, but a homicide. However, investigators remained unpersuaded, citing a lack of evidence. Consequently, a decision was made to perform an autopsy to conclusively determine the cause of death. The prospect of exhuming Shelly's body prompted serious contemplation and debate within her family. Despite negative views on such interventions in the Jewish religion, the family deemed it crucial to uncover the truth and agreed to the exhumation. Obtaining the necessary documents for this step proved challenging, requiring a special order from the prosecutor's office. After almost 3 months, the exhumation and autopsy were conducted, revealing shocking results. The examination disclosed that Shelly did not die from a fall but from asphyxiation due to violent strangulation, which had broken her neck bones. This revelation changed the official version of her death, ruling out an accident and officially recognizing it as murder. The detective's efforts and suspicions were well-founded, with the autopsy results playing a pivotal role. This prompted the New York Police Department to immediately resume the investigation into Shelly's death, meticulously examining new details, including phone call records and bank statements. Everyone who had any interaction with Rod and Shelly, including the nanny, housekeeper, and the lawyer handling their divorce, was questioned. The lawyer informed the police about oddities observed in the couple's behavior during the divorce proceedings. In May 2009, Rod claimed unemployment and an inability to pay alimony during the first divorce hearing. The judge's suggestion that Rod might have to give up his favorite games infuriated him, revealing his true nature in the courtroom. Seeking revenge against Shelly, Rod accused her of being mentally unstable, further complicating an already tumultuous situation. In the wake of a deeply troubled marriage, Shelly and Rod faced intense conflict, with Shelly expressing grievances about Rod's aggressive and controlling behavior. Despite their official separation, Rod's actions escalated, including false accusations against Shelly, leading to an investigation that found no evidence supporting his claims. A disturbing revelation surfaced when Rod coached their son to make slanderous statements against Shelly, exposing the depth of his malevolence. In a chilling turn, Rod hatched a plan to frame Shelly's father for an assault on their daughter, seeking to gain custody and control of Shelly's substantial assets. His vile schemes extended to contemplating poisoning his parents, burning their house, and orchestrating a sham marriage for his daughter to manipulate her inheritance. As the investigation unfolded, surveillance footage revealed Rod's peculiar behavior on the day of the murder, attempting to establish an alibi. Furthermore, Shelly's phone, initially missing, was mysteriously found on her bedside table during a subsequent search, raising suspicions about Rod's involvement in the crime. The investigation also uncovered Rod's affair with Deborah Holmes, who eventually came forward with crucial information. Rod's plans for his daughter and attempts to manipulate her for financial gain were exposed, painting a sinister picture of his intentions. Despite the lack of direct evidence linking Rod to Shelly's demise, Deborah's bravery and collaboration with law enforcement provided essential insights. Rod's conversations, meticulously recorded by Deborah, revealed his malevolent intentions, including his possession of keys to Shelly's apartment and his ability to enter it at any time, Rod's arrest in November 2015 marked a turning point in the case. While the charges were initially circumstantial, Rod's revelations to a fellow inmate, mimicking the act of strangulation, aligned perfectly with surveillance footage and autopsy result. This crucial evidence led to Rod's conviction for Shelly's murder in March 2019. The trial exposed Rod's cold-blooded nature, revealing the extent of his sinister plans. Despite the lack of direct evidence, the jury, appalled by Rod's calculated malevolence, found him guilty of Shelly's demise. Rod Kovlin was sentenced to life imprisonment, with the possibility of parole only after 25 years. This tragic story of a once promising life cut short by a ruthless and greedy individual found justice through the determination of Deborah Holmes, who played a pivotal role in bringing the perpetrator to account. The verdict not only delivered justice for Shelly, but also prevented potential future crimes by Rod Kovlin against his family and the citizens of New York. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for this channel to see more.